and welcome to the third round of the WRL Racing League F1 2006 series for the San Marino Grand Prix at the Imola circuit. And it was Callum Ashmore who put it on pole with a half-second gap over Max Shepherd in second, Louis Rowan in third place for Honda, Paul Hosansky in fourth, Joey Volek in fifth, Sid Kumar sixth, Jeffrey Backer in seventh, and those were the 7 that qualified in Q2. It was 7 because of Philip Kraus's penalty, which he got after Q2 had happened. Other people that got a penalty and started from the back of the grid were Enrique Pimenta and Jacob Reid, who extended slightly on their laps in Q1 and had to be punished for it. The lights come on then at the start for the San Marino Grand Prix, and we are racing, and it's not a good start from Callum Ashmore. No movement. I think there's some connection issues or something there, which is disappointing for him because he could have challenged for a victory. But Max Shepherd then is in the lead, and that's a very familiar saying for me, as he's actually being hassled by Rowan in the Honda. But he made a mistake, or tried to overtake into the second chicane and lost time, as there's Jake Smith off in the background and Philip Kraus went off in the background at the chicane as well. Looking at Jan Vosnica, and that's a spin. I don't know what happened there, maybe went down too many gears, but it's unlucky for Vosnica there, as he tries to get out of the way of everybody else. Now Kraus making an overtake on one of the Midlands through the chicane, and that is a good move there. And Osansky runs wide at the chicane and Reid pops through. But they're side by side down to Ravazza, Reid on the inside in the Toro Rosso, and takes the position. And that's a spin for Vern in the Honda from second place, and that means Reid and Rosansky go up into second and third respectively. And that's unlucky for Vern. He's having a good race, and now we're on board with Jacob Reid in second place, and just go over the crest, loses control, and manages to keep the car going as he drives, or that is now stopped, as he waits to find a clear moment to spin round, and almost actually gets hit by one of the Midlands, but he was also nearly hit by Rosansky or Rowan when he spun the first time. But Reid now pretty much at the back of the field. There's Vosnica spins in the background, side by side with Jake Smith. To come into Tamburello around the outside, something he tried to do in Formula Renault 2.0, and it works for him now, but didn't then. And now Kraus is all over the back of Zansky, now side by side into a Vaso 1, round the outside. Kraus actually sticks up, then there's contact between them. Kraus goes off, and there's contact between Vasansky and Rowan, who sort of put his nose up somewhere where he knew he shouldn't have done. But that's really unlucky for Kraus. But now Rowan is all over the back of Vasansky as they come down towards Tamburello. Now Rowan trying to go around the outside of Vasansky, side by side right next to each other, and Vasansky keeps that position, but Rowan is much better exiting, goes around the outside, and that's a good move from Rowan. Kraus is all over the back of Zansky now, so come down towards the fast right-hander. Kraus up the inside easily, but they both run wide, and there's contact between Vasansky and Kraus, and that's another bit of contact between the two of them, and they're not going to be getting along well after this race, that's for sure. Looking at Jacob Reid as one of the Midlands runs wide, and now Reid will be going up into, has actually overtaken him before the chicane, but is able to take that position. And now Reid on the other Midland And that's a position taken right there, easily overtaking these cars. Sansky up the inside of Kraus actually loses it, but that helps Kraus go around, keep it round the outside there. And here's Max Shepherd coming into the pits for his first stop of the race. He's got a pretty large lead for this stage in the race, so it should be easy for him. Up on the tracks, tires come off, tires come on, fuel goes in. Standard procedure, don't think anything will go wrong. He's not had any issues the whole race. And he's away and comes out in 4th position, which isn't bad going. Now, once again, Carl's having a battle. There's contact between him and Owen. A lot of contact between the Renault and the Honda there. Now, these people will come into the pits. Pretty much everybody else. I think Shepherd pitted a lap early, but I think everybody else is definitely going to be pitting on this lap. Yep. Kraus, Owen, Wasanski. Reid should be coming in behind them. Yes, he does. And Owen goes. Kraus goes. Wasanski goes. And now Reid should be going anytime now. But he's not. That's a really long stop for Reid. He's held up. You can't exit his box because of Kumar in front of him. That's really unlucky there. As they exit the pits now. Reid got a lot of work to do. It's really not been his race. Both laps invalidated in Q1. Caused him to start from the back. Really not had a good race. And there's a spin for Reid. A second spin. Very similar circumstances to the first one. And it really isn't going well for Reid, as he has to once again do a 180. He's going to be getting good at that by the end of this race. And now Reid spins again. This is Felipe Massa, British Grand Prix 2008 stuff here by Jacob Reid. Just not going well. A few corners later, onto the gravel and yet another spin, and this one is a permanent retirement for the British driver. Not been his race at all, has it? And there's contact between Volek and one of the spikers there, and that allows Volek to go through. From enter in the spiker it was, and now Wasanski jumps over the curbs. Rowan, much cleaner line, much faster exit, and takes that position. Now Shepherd in for his second pit stop. And everybody else will be following him. Once again, no issues all race so far, as Kraus hasn't pitted, and Kraus will be going past now. And that should mean that Shepherd will be exiting the pits into second place. He's really dominated this race. And now Kraus exits the pits, comes out in second place. These people pitted much earlier than cars behind, who we now go on to now, Rowan and Osanski. It's going to be a pit lane battle between the Honda crew and the Toyota crew. The battle between the Japanese pit crews, well, team pit crews. And Rowan should go first because he was in his big spot first, and no, it's pretty much the same time. Osanski a little bit quicker than Rowan to be released, and that must mean that Osanski's stop was 1 or 2 seconds faster than that of Rowan's. These two cars pretty comfortable in 3rd and 4th, but Rowan must have been too fast because he's now having to serve a drive-through penalty, and that's really unfortunate. But Osanski seemed to be pulling away so it shouldn't affect him too much. He should still come out in 4th position. And looking at run again, and that's a spin, and that's a crash, and that's a loss of front wing and probably some suspension damage there. As he drives away from his crash site back to the pits, but he should still stay in his position. But Carl's pretty comfortable in 2nd. Probably not the battle for the lead he would have liked, but there's a mistake there, and that's a crash into the barrier. He should be able to make it back to the pits, but it's not been a good race for him either. Now Rosansky goes through into 2nd place. Kraus, like Reid, started from the back, and he now comes into the pits and will drop even further down the order, as this will be a slow stop because he's going to have to repair quite a bit. But not all of it will be repaired. You can't repair a lot with these cars. That's a lockup for Pimenta, and that's a spin, almost hitting Kumar, his teammate there. That was a bit close between the two Spiker teammates. And later on in that lap, contact again between the two Spiker cars. Kumar's staying ahead of Pimenta. And now contact between Kumar and Volek. That was a bit, 3 hits I think I counted there. But Volek keeps position. Both cars ran wide. And now can Volek hold on to this as Pimenta goes sideways in the background? But it's Max Shepherd who, on the final lap of the race, takes home the victory. 3rd race, 3rd win. And this should be another dominant series by the British driver. And so the results for the race were, unsurprisingly, Max Shepherd winning with a large gap over Rosansky in 2nd place. Philip Kraus in 3rd after disqualification for Louis Run after not submitting his RF scan log file. Drew Volek in 4th, Sid Kumar 5th, Enrique Pimenta 6th, Jake Smith in 7th, all 1 lap down, and Jeffrey Backer in 8th, the last of the finishers, 3 laps down. And in the drivers' standings, Max Shepherd obviously keeps his lead in the standings, 25 points. Jacob Reid manages to keep 2nd place in the standings with 12 points. Rosansky 3rd with 12 points. Also, Dino Ferrari in 4th with 7 points. Philip Kraus and Enrique Pimenta 5th and 6th with 6 points. Joe Volek and Jeff Close 5 points in 7th and 8th. Cal Marshall with 4.5 points, and Sid Kumar in 10th with 4 points, rounding out the top 10 of the drivers' standings. And in the constructors' standings, Ferrari lead with 28.5 points, with a large gap over Toyota in 2nd, who have 13 points. Scuderia also round out the top 3 with 12 points. Renault 10.5 points after being quite unfortunate, because their driver lineup's definitely one of the strongest on the grid. Spiker in 5th with 10 points, just due to being consistent, really very similar to Toyota. McLaren in 6th with 7 points. Williams in 7th with 5 points, along with Super Aguri, who are in 8th, also with 5 points. Honda in 9th with 3 points. BMW Sauber with 10 points, and the only team not to score points is Red Bull Racing. So that's all from the San Marino Grand Prix. And the next race is the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya. And we will see you then. Goodbye.